Hi, thank you for watching a new video blog. Today from Stone Town, Zanzibar. So as you might know, I'm a donor, sperm donor, and I've helped many families to become a complete happy family. And I did this with a lot of dedication. I really love doing it. It gave me a purpose in life and it helped others. So I think that's something really wonderful. And it was also the reason why I started doing it. I wanted to be useful in my life. It was also one of the reasons why I started doing it. I wanted to be useful in my life, in my young years. I found out that there was a great demand also for young men that were willing to give something small that means a lot to many other people. It's very valuable towards for many people, very hard to get for many people, for many families. So by doing so, I knew that I would do something really magical, and that is to create something for others that cost me something, time, my energy, but will result into something everlasting, something really beautiful, wonderful. And I realized that unfortunately I was just one of the few that were thinking like this, that was willing to do this. Because the banks had really a shortage of healthy young men, and also the men that wanted to help, they also had to go through a very strict checkup. Not all men were, of course, able to give, because you need to have sperm that is also surviving the freezing process. So I realized that there were not many men, as they were telling me also at clinics, and they were really happy with my help. So that's why, for me, sometimes it's odd that the assumptions being made about my help are extremely negative, and they reflect some form of idea that I only did this for my own benefit, or for a benefit. To me, that's of course very odd. That they, without researching my opinion on it, my ideas, they say, oh yeah, he is deceiving people, luring them in, or misleading them, or anything. Like I was busy running a scam or something. But first of all, you have to understand that there is an enormous demand for donors. Now you have to understand that there's a huge shortage in healthy donors. So the idea that I was trying to manipulate anybody or something is odd to me, because the demand was so big that you would get daily requests. I didn't have to do anything to make myself look better, or lie about my capabilities or my my life. I really showed people who I was, who I really was. So I wasn't portraying myself in a more positive way. I was just showing, look, I'm just a high school teacher. I've never created like fake success stories, or I never tried to impress people with what I do. My hobby is making music, but I'm also very clear that it's just a hobby. I'm not a talented musician or something. It's just a nice hobby. And I never tried to exaggerate who I was. So you can clearly see that I wasn't trying to get as many people pregnant or whatever. No, it was not ever in my mind. I really was there to support others and do something good. Speaking about music, this is the house where Freddie Mercury was born. He was born in Zanzibar, and it's now a museum, so I thought it was interesting. Not that I'm a super fan of Queen, but I really enjoy many of their music. But it's interesting that this court case and also probably this Netflix documentary, it's like trying to paint me off as some sort of lunatic that was, you know, trying his hardest to get as many ladies pregnant and had some egoistic, selfish goals. And it's interesting because they never interviewed me. They never asked me, why did you help so many people? And they assumed that I was on the hunt and like, you know, that's what they say. It's just like, to me, very ridiculous. It's a high demand, very few men willing to help. So that creates, of course, a situation where, yeah, of course, I got so many requests that I could help a lot of them, a lot of these people. The best, I'm not saying that that is correct, and I maybe said a few times like a different number, but you have to see it this way. Neither do the clinics. Clinics, the commercial ones, they don't tell the recipients that they help how often they have used the donor. So it's fine to judge me, but why not judging the big commercial banks then? Because they are leading, in my opinion, because they make a lot of money with it, and they are supposed to be the moral compass. So why focus only on one guy that's doing absolutely the same as what the clinics are doing? Never ever discussing that, which to me is fine, because I think that due to the shortage of donors, we shouldn't be, you know, like being very picky. I think we all should be happy that there's men willing to help. Let's judge them for anything. That's the whole point. There's little understanding about the donor world. People just think that you can go to a sperm bank and that there's thousands upon thousands of donors. But even the big clinics, they're also suffering from shortages. They don't have a lot of donors. If you go to the international big bank, Cryos, you will see that they have just, what was it, last time I checked, like 200 active donors. And they're providing for the whole world. So you think that they will use them only 20 times? Or 30 times, maybe? Of course not. They will use them until the max is reached in every country. And they don't need to tell any of the buyers, of the clients, how often they used a certain donor. So sure, you can say something about me not telling always the correct number, but you know, I'm the little guy. If the gigantic, enormous industry is also not providing people with this information, and next is that through the clinics you're insured. People cannot file a court case against you. But like me, a known donor plus, they can. You're very vulnerable. People don't realize they're all sitting comfortably on their chairs and they can judge and they don't know anything about this whole world, the donor world. And they think it's all like, oh yeah, you know, it's just all easy and all, you know, you can just in a mouse click you can get everything, but it's not the way it works. It's really not the way it works. And like I say, if you put yourself in a vulnerable position like me, as a known donor plus that is known to the parents, which is a little thin paper that's called a donor contract, which just also legally means not a lot. It's more like, you know, yeah, just it is what it is. But then to say that that I am doing something wrong, that they immediately think that I'm doing it for selfish reasons, you know, it's astonishing to me. And yeah, I think it's really telling more about these people than about me. If you hear somebody doing something and you immediately link this to something that you made up yourself, something negative, yes, sure, I can understand that this is the story that you will run. If you can only see sensation, and if you can only look for scandals, yeah, sure, that is then the way you can turn it. Doesn't say anything about me, doesn't say anything about the industry. I mean, let's be very clear. And that's the dishonesty in the whole situation. They know that they can scapegoat one little guy that has no money, no power. But if they will do it to the big clinics, oh boy, you know, they need lawyers, it will cost millions, so they don't mind. They're just like, oh, we just skip over it. They'll skip over what I will say because they're like, no, you cannot say anything. Because we decided that you were bad, even though I sacrificed 50,000 hours of my life in helping people voluntarily, with love. I am the best donor that you can get, because I'm open identity, and still they say that I am doing something bad, that I have bad intentions, that my intentions were not good. So I know that they're wrong and they will eventually have to excuse themselves for how they behave towards me. It's always like if you're a pioneer in anything, and I'm the pioneer in known donorship, a worldwide donor that is helping people selflessly. It's one of the most positive donors you can get. There's also donors that are anonymous, that don't want to have their information out to the children. So I am really a very good donor. And if you not listen to me, to my intentions, and just say, oh, we make a documentary, we decide that he did this for this reason, we say, oh, he was egoistic, he was manipulative, or whatever people make up to just get some attention, to just, I don't know, feed off the beautiful work that I did. That's not good. That's really not good. And I know that God, nature also don't think it's good, because they will know when good vibrations get disturbed by bad vibrations, and they will eventually take action. So I leave it up to God what He will do. But for now, I just want to say that it's very interesting that a court case, so a judge and a documentary maker, media, have decided who am I, why am I doing it, without even interviewing me, without question or believing what I say, because they cannot understand honesty, they cannot understand that somebody is helping selflessly, because everything they do is for power, for money, for attention, for fame, all these things. That's how the legal system works, that's how the media works. They cannot understand that there's also people there with a spiritual vision, doing things selflessly, sacrificing 17 years of his life to help others without anything in return. And the idea that I wanted so many children or something like this, where do you base this on? Never in my whole life have I told a lot of people about this. And I was never making videos about this. I was never trying to be famous or getting money or whatever. So we will see what the spiritual decision is for this on the long run. And I will guarantee myself that one day things will turn and they will understand that they have to apologize towards me and that they were wrong. Like they were wrong with so many people in history. So that was it for today. Thank you for watching from Stone Town, Zanzibar, SA. See you next time.